Welcome to the Sterling Series Flourishing Families. I'm your host, Tony Karls, and today I am sitting down with Pat Quin, the director of Cedar Springs Outdoor Adventure. Pat, thanks for being here and joining us and talking to us a little bit about what you do in Slinger and how you help build strong communities up in the Slinger area.
Yes, Cedar Springs Outdoor Adventure Day Camp is a summer camp for kids. One of the things that we noticed through conversations with a lot of people is that there's a lot of people that we talk to who had a foundational camp experience growing up. A lot of people, even in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even in their 70s, look back on that 1 week of summer camp and they say, not only do they remember it 50 years later, but they point back to it as being foundational in their character building, an important part of their childhood and an important part of their development. Well, we also noticed that there were some groups of kids that didn't have access to camps like that. Kids from the inner city, kids from high poverty areas, kids who were bouncing back and forth between different homes, who didn't have one home during the summer, and were often bouncing between different parents' homes. And so we said, why don't we form a camp just for those kids? And so we started Cedar Springs Outdoor Adventure Day Camp on 40 acres in Slinger, Wisconsin. And for different weeks during the summer, we invite kids to come, and every kid who comes to camp gets to ride a horse, gets to cook every meal over a fire, gets to walk goats, shear a sheep, shoot a bow and arrow, do all the things that happen at an outdoor adventure day camp. It's the best week of their summer, and we're really happy to be able to make it available to kids who otherwise may not have this opportunity. Our goal is that when you come to camp, we surround you with love. We let you know that you're loved unconditionally. We let you know what your strengths are. We let you explore. Some of the kids come to our camp are bussed in from Milwaukee, and a lot of times when they haven't seen 40 acres of wide open property like ours, they get off the bus and sometimes they just start running full tilt in one direction. And if they were doing that at school, there'd be like 4 people yelling at them and chasing them, and we just let them go because they're going to run out of energy before we run out of property.
You seem super passionate about what you're doing up there. How did you become involved, and how did the summer camp start?
And I became a public school teacher, and I taught both high school, middle school, and elementary school for 12 years. During that time, I saw a lot of kids who came to school, and because of things that were going on in their life, whether that was a divorce, whether that was someone who died, a parent who passed away, or a grandparent who passed away, sometimes they were moving from house to house in transit. A lot of reasons. Kids have stumbles in their life, kids have bumps in their life, and it'll affect their development, it'll affect their self-esteem. It raises their anxiety levels and often causes anxiety and depression and some other self-esteem issues. And so I've been passionate about helping kids develop into the people that they were made to be, having kids view themselves the way they should view themselves, as strong and good rather than flawed and broken. And I've really been on the self-esteem kick and boosting kids my entire career. I think one of the most important questions you can ask kids when you're talking to kids, and any parent who's watching this, when their kids get home from school today, what they should ask them is, what's something that you're really good at? Every kid, whether they're 3 years old, 13 years old, or 23-year-old, should be able to name some things that they are good at. And a lot of times in our culture, we're taught kind of just the opposite, that you shouldn't recognize the things that you're good at. If somebody says you're really good at that, you should say, oh, no, I'm not good at that. And that really creates this culture where kids don't believe that they're good, that they don't believe that they have strengths. Instead, they believe that they're broken and they're flawed. A strength is something that you're good at and you're passionate about. And if every child would know their strengths, then it'd be a lot easier for them to have high self-esteem. And more importantly, it'd be a lot easier for them to find a path in life that will make them happy, fulfilled, and self-sustaining members of society.
Pat, any advice for parents on how they can help identify what strengths their kids have?
Some kids it's easy. Some kids, it's actually, they have so many strengths. They walk in, they're like, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, and I'm good at this, and we really don't need to worry about them. The ones that we need to worry about are the ones who are like, what are you good at? And they're like, I don't know, nothing. And then you try different activities, and they struggle in a lot of those activities. And my advice to parents is just keep trying. and to be able, and think about looking at some alternative activities that maybe you didn't do when you were growing up. Look at skateboarding, look at motocross, look at karate, look at martial arts, look at some other things.
Pat, how long has the camp been around? How long have you guys been doing what you're doing up in the Slinger area?
The camp's been around for about 7 years. We're one of the fastest growing camps in the state of Wisconsin. And we're just excited to be able to create this opportunity for more and more kids every single summer. But what's most important to us is particular individual stories. You know, I think of a student who came to our camp, Amir. He was 9 years old, and the first day at camp, he wouldn't talk to anybody. He actually just sat down in the hallway at camp and cried. And when I got to him, he was banging his head against the wall, and he actually dented the drywall. We've left the dent in the drywall at the camp just to remind us of how much pain kids can be in, and how difficult it can be for kids to deal with things in their life that they can't handle. You know, 4 days later, I had the opportunity to help Amir get up on top of a horse, and he was talkative, he was smiling, his arms were up in the air. It was a great experience. He's come back to camp 3 more years after that, and next year he's going to be one of our counselors at camp.
Oh,
and
awesome.
so we're going to have Amir there to be with kids who are going through similar situations, to talk to kids who are experiencing pain, to be ready to help kids in a situation that he was in, which is just dealing with stuff that's going on in your life that's difficult for young people to handle. And we just want to create a safe place where kids can grow, be themselves, learn their strengths, raise their self-esteem, and have a happy week in the middle of their summer.
Pat, your story is really inspiring me. It's really cool, and I really appreciate what you're doing up in the Slinger area to help, you know, build self-esteem in kids that are coming from, you know, lower income families. If people want to learn more about what you're doing up there, whether they want to get their kids involved or they want to help support what's going on with your camp, how could they get connected with you, and how can they do that?
Our website is cedarsprings.outdooradventure.com, and at cedarsprings.outdooradventure.com you can sign up for camp. We're running camp for 4 weeks this summer. We'll have over 600 kids at camp this summer, and you can sign your kids up for camp. Or if you want to support camp for the kids who come from the inner city and kids who come from high poverty families, camp is free. And that's only possible because people make donations and sponsor campers. So if you'd like to sponsor a camper, or if you'd like to sign your own kids up for camp, you can do it at cedarsprings.outdooradventure.com.
Awesome. Pat, I really do appreciate you sitting down with us today and taking the time to teach us about building self-esteem in kids and how important that is. I also thank you for sitting down with us and sharing kind of such a great thing that's going on in our local community, such as Cedar Springs Outdoor Adventure. I wish you the best of luck and hope you have positive contributions continuing in the Slinger area moving forward as you continue to roll out your programs.
Thanks for the opportunity, and we hope to see everybody at camp this summer.
Flourishing Families is a Sterling series where we'll explore concepts related to healthy communication, family time, fiscal responsibility, emotional support, health and wellness, personal responsibility, and living a purpose-driven life. Please like and subscribe. We hope these stories are enriching and provoke ideas as you strive to build a strong family.